Today I'm looking at some rare footage of Mariah Carey. Hey kids, Treacle here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm looking at some rare footage of Mariah, and this is courtesy of the Mariah Source on YouTube. Check them out if you're not already subscribed. Jump into their channel, you will be very pleasantly surprised. This video is made with their permission. Thank you so much to the Mariah Source. I'm not watching these clips by myself. I'm joined today by a member of my channel, Sarah Denny. Hey Sarah.
Hi everybody, how are you?
How are you? It's so great to have you here on the channel.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
It's my pleasure, and thank you so much for supporting the channel and being a member. I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely. This is my favorite channel. My go-to for Mariah everything. You cover absolutely everything, and I love you.
Thank you so much. Doing the best we can. And some of my favorite videos to do are ones where I get to sit down and geek out with other people. So this is why this is going to be fun. Today, we are going to be looking at some rare Mariah footage, some footage that I'm hoping I've not seen before. And I'm hoping you've not seen before because I feel like we both sin a lot. And I think it takes a lot to surprise lambs like us.
Right.
But potentially there might be some clips here that are new for you.
I hope so. I've seen about, like you said, I've seen about everything there is. So yeah, it's a treat when we get to see something we haven't seen before, especially interviews. I love underground interviews, rare interviews, things we haven't heard her say before or just can't recall. And yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Okay, let's dive in. So this is the Mariah Source on YouTube, and the thing that jumps out to me is interviews, which is what we want. And I think that's probably the easiest way to surprise us because she, especially during the 90s, did so many interviews.
Yeah.
And naturally, we go for the live performances. We go for the TV music performances. Interviews can be longer. There's just so much. So we'll take it in turns. You are the guest here. So Sarah, it's your choice first. What is jumping out at you?
Oh, see, I've seen all those top ones. Ooh, Mariah Carey Butterfly Era, where she's lounging on that blue sofa.
This one?
I'm not sure if I remember that one.
I feel like I might recognize this one as we go into it, but only because during the 90s, particularly Butterfly, I feel like she adopted this position to give several interviews.
There are actually two projects that I'm working on now. One is a movie that we're pretty much finalized on. It's called 00 Soul, and it's with Chris Tucker, and I think it's going to be a really fun project. And then there's another movie that is, the working title is All That Glitters.
Do you remember the project 00 Soul?
I don't. I actually don't. Do you?
I would have forgotten about it. That has reminded me. It was meant to be some kind of like a spoof spy movie. So taking like the whole James Bond kind of motif, but making it like, you know, it's kind of sending itself up. It's, you know, making fun of itself. So like almost like a comedy. She was talking about it in a number of interviews. Like I think it was pretty much a done deal. Like the contract was signed, and I can't remember why it fell apart.
No, I don't remember this.
And it's set in the 70s, and it's about a young group and their kind of rise to stardom and what they go through in the music business and all the craziness that was going on at that time. And I think the soundtrack is going to be really good. I'm going to be executive producing the soundtrack and hopefully getting a lot of other artists to be involved with me.
I don't remember that one at all.
I'm not sure. I remember this interview, and the way she's talking about All That Glitters, the working title at the time, it is different. You know, it did progress. The date on this interview is 1998.
It sounds like she's been singing for way too long.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like she's had a long working day. And the way she's talking about glitter, All That Glitters, sounds like it's very, very early kind of
early in the project.
I feel like I recognize the look of this interview, and possibly back in the day, possibly I saw it, but I couldn't swear on that.
Yeah, this isn't familiar to me at all. It sounds like she's really just speaking more of the evolution of where her music is headed.
Yeah, she's still promoting Butterfly right now. and she's talking about moving on to movies. Of course, we had Rainbow in between
Hmm.
now and what ended up as Glitter. This is, yeah, very early on. Like, she knows that she's making these movies. I really need to find out what happened to Double O Soul.
Yeah, yeah. I have never heard of that before. I wonder about the other lambs, if other lambs really knew about this, because I certainly didn't.
Yes, anyone watching, if you know about Double O Soul, or you can remember any more details or why it fell through or anything, let us know in the comments. My turn to pick. What do we want? I don't really want to go like for the performances
Yeah.
as much. It's only 30 seconds, but I don't feel like I recognize this look.
It looks familiar to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Let's take a look.
What's up, BET? Welcome to Mariah Carey Saturday. I'm your girl, Mariah, and I'm going to be hanging out with you all day. Now, I hope everybody out there has already gotten my new record, The Emancipation of Mimi, which is in stores now. And speaking of Mimi, let's go to the first show I want to show you, which is my blueprint, The Emancipation of Mimi. Check it out.
Wow.
not seen that before.
I haven't
Have you?
either. She looks great.
I'm trying to remember what else she was doing around that time, because the hairstyle is striking me. It's striking me as familiar. Yeah, I'm wondering what else maybe she was doing like the same day or something. It's not coming to me, but I've definitely not seen that.
That's probably why
I thought it was familiar, because that look looked really familiar, but I don't recall that little intro there.
What do you fancy?
Fantastico interview?
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it.
Mariah Carey especial. A cantora, que é fenômeno de vendas, vem ao Brasil gravar show exclusivo para o Fantástico.
Domingo que vem você vê aqui os melhores momentos desse show especial. Antes de embarcar para o Brasil, ela deu uma entrevista exclusiva.
Ela é a cantora que vendeu mais discos nos anos 90 e uma das superestrelas do... Naquele dia, 11 de setembro, entrou em cartaz o primeiro filme de Mariah, Glitter, e o disco com a trilha sonora chegou às lojas.
O momento não podia ter sido pior. O filme era voltado para os pré-adolescentes e logo depois do 11 de setembro, os pais não deixavam os filhos saírem de casa para ir ao cinema ou para comprar discos.
A cantora estava...
It's difficult because you have to listen underneath the translation, but what I picked up was the movie came out September 11th. It was difficult because it was really watered down and ended up being catered towards like really young kids. It was meant to be something else.
Yeah, that was really tough. I don't know why they interview people and then just talk over the people.
I do remember she spoke a few times like after Glitter, like it was meant to be one thing and it got watered down and ended up being something else. And that's definitely the narrative here. I have seen it happen a number of times where she does give an interview for a European network and they do dub it. Maybe they do it two different ways. Maybe sometimes they do present the English interview like as it was captured, and other times they're like, well, this portion of our audience, they're not going to access the interview if we don't translate it into our native language. I don't know.
That could be true. It could be true.
Let's see if we can get a little bit more, if we can hear her, because she's so like chilled, like that deep sexy voice in the interview. It's really hard to catch it if the translation's on top.
Não foi nada disso. Eu estava exausta, estressada, mas não tive um colapso nervoso. Não fiquei maluca, nem tentei o suicídio. Eu sou espiritualizada, acredito em Deus. Nunca pensaria numa coisa dessas.
Yeah, it sounds like she was addressing a lot of the rumors that were happening with her breakdown.
Looking back on clips like this, and I think she said the same thing on Oprah, isn't it just crazy that she had to deny that it was a suicide thing? Yeah, for her to have to go on TV and say it was not a suicide attempt, it's just crazy she had to do that.
And it sounds like it's not the first time or second time or third time by the time this was taken that she was just getting tired of having to defend herself and try to tell people, I'm not a suicidal person, I'm a very spiritual person, I love God, I love my life. it's sad. It's sad to see. And it seems like she's a little more expressive in other countries about it.
Yeah, yeah, I get. Yeah, I haven't thought of it like that before, but that's an interesting point. Um, I think I recognize the look. I maybe have seen like a photo or whatever, but I love this like charm bracelet glow that she's got.
Yes, that's my favorite in Beauty Peak for me. I think she was just stunning in Charm Bracelet era. I love it. Just the hair, the curls, the way she was embracing those curls, and yeah, beautiful.
I'm gonna go with this glitter interview. Let's stick with the whole glitter era we found ourselves in. Let's see what this one is.
People keep saying that it's an autobiographical situation, which it is completely not.
And what about that rumored love triangle? Mariah Carey names names on the set of All That Glitters.
My character is a singer, therefore people keep saying that it's an autobiographical situation, which it is completely not.
But All That Glitters definitely mirrors Carey's rise from obscurity.
You look beautiful.
In the love story set in New York City in the 80s, Mariah plays Billie Frank, a young woman who overcomes a tough childhood to find love and success behind the mic.
I don't want the character to have my mannerisms, which are very distinct. I never realized that until I got parodied on Saturday Night Live a few times, and realized that this hand thing, which I never meant to become, some kind of trademark, which is like a physical tick or something. I really can't help doing it.
I don't know if I've seen this. How about you?
No, I haven't. And I don't think I've really seen anything from behind glitter scenes or anything quite early on in the glitter era when it was still called All That Glitters. It's very interesting to see some of that behind the scene footage.
I think some of those behind the scenes footage clips I've seen, but I don't remember what she's saying in this particular interview, at least not yet. Maybe if we watch a little bit more. I do remember her in a different interview talking about the whole hand thing, and specifically with the Never Too Fast scene in the movie. She found it quite forced and unnatural that she had to be there on stage, perform it, and keep her arms like down to her side because her instinct is to, the hands come up and everything.
And another thing Mariah can't stop are constant rumors about her love life. She's still dating singer Luis Miguel, and she's quick to squelch the latest dish about an alleged fling with All That Glitters co-star Eric Benet, who also happens to be Halle Berry's fiance.
I do have a duet with Eric Benet, and that is all that I have with Eric Benet. And if they would stop writing these rumors, I'd be happy. Supposedly, Halle came to the set and we fought and had this whole drama. I don't know. It's pretty entertaining. It's just the typical thing to do. Take a nice pen out, write on a piece of paper, bunch of lies, and hey, pass it off as the truth.
It's great to see her on set. Like in the middle of it all, she's filming. We know how it ends up and what it is like at the end of the process. But to see her on set just having fun.
She seems really optimistic about what the movie was going to become and what she was hoping it would be.
Yeah, it's nice to see her genuinely enjoying the process. It's what it looks like.
Used to seeing her fight a lot of rumors about her dating life, so it's kind of fun to see her try to rebuke that.
I haven't gone back and watched 90s and early 2000s interviews for a while, and one thing I noticed is that she does address, or maybe it's not so much her changing, it's the media situation changing. Maybe now they don't get as much direct access to put silly rumors. It happens less, but also I look on it and see is she's entertaining fools a little bit more. She's got more energy at this point in her career. If you're going to sit down in front of her and ask a question about a stupid dumb rumor, then shame on you. Why would she even waste her time addressing it? Right, you're next, your choice. Where do you want to go?
What is that very, very, very last one? It says 91 and 97.
Let's see.
What made me know that I wanted to do this, but I think it had a lot to do with the fact that my mother was a professional singer.
You know what I'm getting straight away from this? Do you remember when she performed I Want to Know What Love Is on Oprah, and she had the black outfit and the big curls?
Yes. I was just going to say she looks stunning right here for those early days. She just, oh man. Yeah, I'm getting I Want to Know What Love Is vibes for sure.
Totally. She's red off the shoulder here. On Oprah, it was black off the shoulder. And yeah, I need to do a side by side of that.
Well, right now I'm recording my second album, and I'm definitely exploring other areas within myself and other types of music.
Mariah Carey has sold more than 80 million albums worldwide, making her the top-selling female pop singer of the 90s. Her new album is called Butterfly, and it already has turned out a Billboard #1 single. You do write almost all your own songs, or you co-write them with someone else. Does that make it easier when you're performing the songs to kind of bring them from the heart, as opposed to trying to sing someone else's words?
Well, basically, the only songs that I've ever done that I haven't written have been remakes, covers of other songs. And I enjoy doing that, but really writing is such an enormous part of what I do, and I can't imagine what it would be like. I mean, it's hard for me to understand the people that just go in and sing and they don't write their own music, because to me, it's such an integral part of the whole creative process. And since I've been in the studio, year after year, since my first album, it's been a learning process every single time. And this time, I've really put a lot of realness into the music. There's a lot of myself on this album.
What do you make of that?
Very random clips, but I've never seen either of them.
Both new to me. Did you notice in the Butterfly one, she was forced to sit on her quote unquote bad side? So she was, rather than like looking, she wanted to, the majority of her answer, she's
I didn't notice that.
out looking over yonder and only came back for eye contact at the end of the answer.
I didn't notice that. That is so funny. Oh my God.
As soon as we went in, I was like, either the video's been flipped, so we're not getting it as it was filmed, or she's been forced to sit on her bad side. And yeah, she was on her bad side, so she was answering like this.
Some things never change.
I am going to go for this, because this is very old British daytime TV. So this is Mariah. This is Mariah in England, I believe.
Now, our special pop guest today has literally stormed out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's Lorraine Kelly, who's like the queen of daytime TV, and wow, she looks different.
Literally out of nowhere.
And just a quick note, even before she arrives, this would have been live TV, and you can see by the clock in the corner, this is at 7:50 a.m. Mariah is live TV.
God. That is early for Mariah.
Yeah.
In America, she's at #1 in the singles chart, and her debut album has charged up into the top 5 spot. She's the daughter of an opera singer, and she's been singing since the age of 4, and she has a 7-octave voice. So welcome to Mariah Carey. Good morning to you. It's lovely to see you. A 7-octave voice, that's quite incredible. You can go really, really low and really, really high. And is being acclaimed as the best new voice since Whitney Houston burst onto the scene 5 years ago. In America, she's at #1 in the singles chart, and her debut album has charged up into the top 5 spot. She's the daughter of an opera singer, and she's been singing since the age of 4, and she has a 7-octave voice. So welcome to Mariah Carey. Good morning to you. Good morning. It's lovely to see you. A 7-octave voice, that's quite incredible. You can go really, really low and really, really high. Yeah. When did you discover that you had this remarkable talent?
I've been singing since I was 4. My mom's an opera singer, so she is also a vocal coach, and she sort of started encouraging me when I was very young. And I've always been singing.
Do you think that you would have gone into singing had it been for your mother? Or do you think that she sort of maybe encouraged you to do it, but if she hadn't been there, would you still be a singer? Is it something you've always wanted to do inside?
I've always wanted to do it, and also the fact that I saw that it was feasible because my mother made a living at it, made it that much more real for me.
Been a lot of comparisons between you and Whitney Houston. Does that bother you that people sort of say, oh, you're very similar? Does that worry you at all?
When you're new, you have to be compared to someone, So, there are a lot worse people I could be compared to, and she's a superstar and a great vocalist. So,
because you want to be successful in your own right as well.
As a songwriter and a singer, which is, I've co-written all the songs on my debut album.
Go Mariah! Go baby Mariah! Getting that in there.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've seen this one before.
I think I've seen it, but many, many moons ago. I remember like her just being tied and the hair being a bit flat and thinking, yeah, gosh, this is early for anyone to be giving any kind of conversation or interview.
It was a strange thing that the interviewer asked if she would still be a singer had her mother not been an opera singer. And so someone that talented is just supposed to sit around and not sing.
I think the question is I think once you know who Mariah Carey is, the question is redundant, but I feel like this would have been one of her very, very first like introductions to the country, and Lorraine doesn't really know who Mariah is. So yeah, she without knowing the talent, it's like, oh, did you always want to just follow in your mother's footsteps? It was a bit of a strange one. Let's watch a little bit more.
Hopefully people will respect me for my work and who I am. So.
How did you then, I know that you were sort of steeped in music with your mother being able to teach you and to help you, but how did you go from that to actually getting into the world of pop? How did that all come about? How did you get your record contract and everything?
Well, I started doing demos when I was like 15, and at 16 I met my co-writer who I wrote 7 of these songs on the album with, Ben Margulies, and we were sort of writing together and working towards getting a record deal. And then I started singing background vocals for a girl named Brenda K. Starr who had a top 10 hit in the States a couple of years ago. And she became my really good friend, and she brought my tape. She brought me to a party and gave my tape to the president of CBS Records, Tommy Mottola. Cool. And she handed him my tape and said, "This is my friend Mariah. You know, she writes all her own songs. She's 18 years old at the time." And I never expected him to listen to it, but he listened to it. And he came back. He put it on in the limo, and he came back to find me, but I was gone.
But from the party, he
Right.
put it on, and then
Right.
he was so impressed he came back to get you.
Yeah, he
but you
turned
weren't
around.
there.
No, I was gone, and there was no phone number on the tape. So finally, he tracked me down that Monday, and I just signed with CBS.
Great, that's brilliant. Well, I think we should have a look at some of the music. That's what I think.
It's so strange to see baby Mariah talk about that acquiring of the record deal after we've been reading about it in the memoir.
Yeah, she seemed a little bit more enthusiastic about it. Well, and even still, she seems like she's been saying the same story over and over, even this early on in her career, but it's still a new story to her to be telling to everybody. And she looks really young. Like, she looks like child Mariah here. She looks like she's 12.
She looks so young, but yeah, this is 1990. She is 20. She doesn't look 20 at all.
Not at all.
Okay, let's go for one more each. What do you fancy?
How about VH1 2000?
Beautiful skin. Next week, Mariah Carey releases Thank God I Found You, the new single from the album Rainbow. The world tour kicked off last week and hits Wembley Arena at the weekend.
It's almost like a theatrical production we're trying to put together here. So rather than just a typical pop concert. You know the Heartbreaker video when I fight with the girl with the black hair? Yeah. Her name is Bianca. I don't know if you've met her. Anyway, she doesn't like me at all, and she's hosting the show. Because the promoters wouldn't do the tour if she didn't host the show, because she's such a big star now and everybody requests her constantly. So she's going to be there, but I'm not really sure what she's going to try and do to me or do to the show or, anything. So I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time and hoping that she'll behave. But I don't know what she's going to do.
I don't recognize this interview, but I recognize the look. I think she did a lot of press over here in the UK with this really, her hair was so like soft, silky, like honey looking. Really, really
And then she'd
smooth.
always have the 90s clip right
Yeah.
in her hair.
All about the 90s clip. I feel like I recognize the look, but I don't recognize the interview. Do you recognize that?
No, I don't. She's having a lot of fun with this interview, though. She's making it more about Bianca.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see who is interviewing her, because there was a particular male interviewer over here that she was getting on with, and then I think it was on the Ozone, which is different to VH1, and they had a few interviews. Definitely, I think it was Butterfly, maybe Number One's Rainbow. Like, she'd come over and they would like interview, and so you'd see the chemistry kind of develop over a few years.
I like singing Hero live, even though I don't like the record Hero that much, because I don't like I think it was I don't know, whatever. I got into some fights about that, the things that they made me keep on the vocal. I thought it was overproduced.
Wow.
She was very blunt about that.
Yeah, these days she's a bit more delicate or tactful. We know that Hero is not her favorite song. She likes to perform it live and the connection, the message it has for people. That was blunt.
Yeah, no, it sounds like she just really is tired of the song at this point.
I feel like late 90s, she pretty much maybe had enough of it. And I feel like she kind of fell back in love with it at some point. I'm not sure where that point was, but here she's a little... It sounds a little bit dumb.
She was really tired of being associated with Hero, and she wanted to be taken more seriously as an R&B artist.
Rather than a forced pop artist.
Maybe, and Hero certainly represents that middle of the road ballad. And she's like, I know how to write those songs. I can write that. You want that song? I can write it. That's fine. But there's everything else that I'm about and everything else that I want to share.
And I wonder what the fights were about. She mentioned fights.
Yes, some parts of the vocal that she felt were a bit overproduced. I guess they really wanted it to be that that Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, that big pop inspirational ballad, and she likes to sing it live over the recorded version because she changes it and makes it less middle of the road. She said that a few times. But
right.
Interesting to know, though, that she had some fights over which...
She had a strong hatred for it in this era.
Which vocals made it and which ones didn't. It came down to a fight. Wow. Okay, I want to know which award this is. It's only like 12 seconds, but let's see. So she wasn't at an award ceremony and she's phoned it in. She sent a video in.
Miss Mariah Carey.
Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you tonight in Monte Carlo. But most importantly, I really want to thank all my fans from all over the world for listening.
Is that a World Music Award?
I don't know. I can't tell.
She says Monte Carlo, and I feel like the World Music Awards were occasionally or frequently in Monte Carlo.
Huh.
I don't recognize the award from the actual statue, but anyone who can confirm in the comments, let us know. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that is a World Music Award. That was fun. I certainly got to see some clips where I feel like I recognized the looks, but not necessarily the content. And yeah, there's more there on the Mariah Source to check out. So guys, if you are not already subscribed to the Mariah Source, do go and give them a follow. And Sarah, thank you for joining me for this video.
Thanks for having me on. That was a blast from the past, quite a journey, and a lot of blunt answers we saw.
Yeah, I was surprised at how direct early Mariah was.
Yeah, late 90s, she was not messing around anymore. She was tired of people's shit.
I think this channel is so great because it's important really that we keep this footage. Back in the day, I used to have VHS tapes with Mariah on, interviews here on British TV, and I don't have them. I never converted them to DVD or anything, and all of that gets lost. And you think all that work, all that promotion, and we want to collect and find old cassettes and vinyl now, but there's all these interviews that unless someone has kept them and can convert them and put them on YouTube, they're just going to be lost, which is a real shame.
Forever. Yeah, lost forever. And we might have to explain to some of your subscribers what VHS are.
Yeah, I'm definitely showing my age by admitting that taking Mariah off the TV on VHS. But yeah, I'm going to check out some more videos on the Mariah Source channel soon. Sarah, I will catch you on social media. I enjoy chatting with you on Instagram. So yeah, thank you once again for being a channel member and joining me today. Let everyone know where they can find you online, actually, before we go.
My Instagram is Sarah Lind Denny, and my Twitter is Sarah Lind 90. So come over there. I'm a super lamb. I love chatting with anybody about Mariah. Lamely, yes, for life.
Perfect. And I'll make sure the links to your socials are in the description below. Sarah, thank you so much, and I will talk to you again soon.
Thank you. We'll talk to you. See ya.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly love being surprised with footage I have not seen before. So yeah, go and check out the Mariah Source on YouTube and you can delve into these clips that we watched today and others. Thanks again to Sarah for joining me. If you'd like to find out how you can become a member of my channel, check out the link in the description below. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, thanks a lot.